So Magneto comes, Cyclops comes in. He says, "We're the X-Men," and then the guy's like, "Who's the X-Men?" And then next, they all just assemble in front of the base, saying, "X-Men attack," which isn't a very good plan. You don't just rush in somewhere saying attack. So then they all try to get into the base, but then they figure out about the shield. So Cyclops has to use the maximum setting on his laser beam generator. No. He shoots the things out of his eyes, and then the thing on his eyes stops him from doing that. So he takes off the limiting thing and blasts through the barrier, except he knocks himself out. They carry him inside the base, and they continue their attack. Here is Spider-Man issue number 4. I'm really excited on getting this. I haven't gotten it yet, and I was really surprised to find an ad for it in the scan I got, which is really weird, because it's one of the issues I haven't gotten yet, and that's the next one I'm going to get. It features the Sandman, and I'm going to review it as soon as I get it. Well, I'm going to review everything else first, and then my newest review, after I review everything else I planned, will be Spider-Man issue number 4. So look forward to that. A little preview there. So then, oh yeah, I cut it off of the last panel. Let me show you. Magneto then decides to shoot heat-seeking missiles at the team, which is a good plan. So then Angel tries to dodge all these heat-seeking missiles, and then Iceman uses his ice grenades to freeze the missiles and disable them. Except there's still one missile left. So Angel guides it over to Beast, who picks it up with his feet, which is pretty badass. He then throws it over to Jean, who uses her telepathic powers to throw it into the ocean. What if it hit a ship? What if it hit a person sailing on a boat? You think that's safe? I don't think it's very safe. So then Angel tries to attack Magneto, but then he hits him with a bunch of junk. I love this line right here. It says, "See how easily I can stop your flight by magnetically hurling every nearby object which is not bolted down." That's a wonderful line. So then next, after Cyclops somehow gets up from being unconscious and blasts the junk away, Magneto hides behind a canister of rocket fuel. Yes, that's rocket fuel. See? Rocket fuel. That's not very safe. So he decides to light it on fire. Now, the funny thing about this panel is, I originally thought he was just standing there, but for some reason in this version, it makes it a lot more clear that he's actually pushing the rocket fuel towards them. I think in the reprint I got, it didn't really look that way. It looked like just a standalone figure, so I couldn't really tell he was pushing it toward them. So I was just thinking, why is he standing right next to the rocket fuel when it's gonna explode? So then Iceman attempts to shield them, which is a pretty good plan if you're gonna use ice to shield from fire. I don't think that is enough ice. Anyway, for some reason, Magneto is unaffected by this giant explosion. And then this beam comes out from the ground. It turns out the X-Men, and mainly just Cyclops, were able to make some kind of tunnel that goes under the explosion. So let me try to figure out what happened off panel here. So, Iceman uses his shield, and then they get blown up by the explosion. While he's saying this, they're digging under the ground and hitting him with Cyclops' beam. Then Magneto decides to retreat and fly away using magnetic propulsion, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't know, maybe it makes sense scientifically, but it still doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna fly away using magnetic propulsion. Okay, whatever. That still seemed kind of cheap. Anyway, Magneto runs away, and then the X-Men are like, we win, yay, he's gone. I love how he says uncanny right here, because based on what I've researched, the series was later changed to the Uncanny X-Men. That's kind of funny, isn't it, how this guy says uncanny right here? I just think that's a weird coincidence. Then the police thank the X-Men, and then they fly back to the Academy in their jet, while Professor Xavier thanks them also. It's a nice little issue, and Magneto is a really cool villain. I like all the characters and stuff. It's a really cool story. You have just finished the newest, most unusual tale in the annuals of modern magazines. But the best is yet to come, for fantasy at its greatest. Don't miss issue number 2 of X-Men, the strangest superheroes of them all. That's pretty cool. Maybe I will pick up the second issue sometime. But not right now. Next, we're going to be reviewing some of the newer X-Men things. Or at least one that I picked up at the comic store while I was looking around for comics. Keep in mind that I'm a complete noob to comics, and I just got started, so if I'm confused about anything, that's why. The whole point of this review series is that I've never really gotten into comics as a kid, so I never read this when I was a child, and so when I read the newer ones, I'm more confused than ever. It's a really fun spin on modern reviews. You know, those people who actually read up on these and know what they're talking about? That's not me. Oh, well, see you next time when I review X-Men, Curse of the Mutants, Parts 1 and 2. Hope you liked it. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that nonsense. And Professor Xavier commands you. Look at his head. It's scaring, isn't it? I mean, really, it is kind of scary. Commands you!